Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. I think I've got something really cool to show you today, something that I've been working on for a little while. Obviously it's clear from the thumbnail what this is, but it is my new Domination game mode for Battlefield 2042. Now before I get into the actual video itself and the game mode, there's just something that I'd like to share with everybody. I am very excited to let everybody know that I have been accepted onto the EA Creator Network program. I told my wife the other day that it was a lifelong dream, a life ambition to become a YouTuber and get accepted onto the EA Creator Network. She did remind me that you're over 50 and the internet didn't even exist when you were a kid. But I guess the sentiment's there. It's an absolutely brilliant thing and I'm really thankful to be accepted onto that program. I don't know what it will bring, I don't know what opportunities it will bring, but I am really hoping that it will allow me to get my hands on some things a little bit earlier and get news out to you much quicker than I am able to, and maybe I'll be able to get a little bit more insight into the Portal editor a little bit earlier. Anyway, I just wanted to let everybody know I'm very excited to be part of the EA Creator Network. And we will see where that takes us going forward. It's absolutely fantastic. Moving on, before we just get onto the video, as always, if you get anything out of this video, if you enjoy playing this, if you like what you see and you want to learn more, please click the like button on the video. It really does help me with the YouTube algorithm, and if you could possibly just click the subscribe button for me, I would be eternally grateful. I'm nearly at 700 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing, but it is a long slog to 1,000 subscribers. Costs you nothing to click the button, but it means everything to me, so thanks very much. Right, without further ado, let's crack on and have a look at this new Domination game mode that I've created for Battlefield 2042 Portal. So in the background you're going to see some gameplay playing, and before I get started and just explain to you what this mode is all about, let me just run through a couple of things. The first thing is that we'll do this video in the normal way. It's not a tutorial this time, unfortunately, got more of those to come. But this is a little bit more complicated. There's a lot of code here, too much to go through in a shortish YouTube video. But I will, of course, as always, post the playground ID and the experience code for anybody that wants to try it out or duplicate it, edit it and look at the code yourself. That's not a problem. We'll do a quick run through of the gameplay and then we will run through the code and I'll explain the code to you or pick out some of the highlights and show you how you can alter this game mode to make it your own. So the other thing that I'll mention is that at some point in the not too distant future, this way of doing the Domination game mode through the logic editor may well become a bit of an oddity. Now the reason for that is because of the introduction of the objective tools in Portal through the logic editor with the new vehicle superiority game mode. So there was some great stuff added by ripple effect to the Portal logic editor involving using tools to control objectives. Now those aren't quite finished yet and there are some weird strange things going on with them at the moment, which means that this mode isn't really possible in the same way that I have done it at the moment, but hopefully we'll see the introduction of more maps with these objectives on there, possibly the introduction of the conquest maps to the logic editor. Who knows, there's no way of knowing at the moment, and as the Portal logic editor evolves and ripple effects are very keen to help it evolve and make it a tool for the future, we may well see some introductions and some changes that make this way of doing things a very strange way of doing things. So if you're watching this in the future, it's way past July 2022 and you're thinking, why on earth is this person doing this video in this particular way? Can't you just do this? Well, that's quite possibly the case when you're watching it later on. Anyway, let's have a look at the mode itself, and I'm just going to run through what's happening on the screen at the moment, what you can expect and how this mode works. So if you're familiar with the Domination game mode, this works exactly the same way as you would expect it to. There are two teams fighting over three objectives. The more objectives a team holds and captures, the faster the tickets will bleed from the opposing team. And I think at the moment, I'll run through the code in a moment, but it's set to be, if a team has 2 flags and the opposing team has 1 flag, we've got it set to 4 seconds for each ticket to bleed. And if there's a triple cap, so that's one team has all of the objectives and the opposing team has none, the tickets will bleed at 1 per second, so much faster. A triple cap will win the game very quickly. This particular game mode, I've set it up so it covers all of the small sized maps. We've used Team Deathmatch as the basis for this mode, so you've got objectives across all of the maps You can just run it and it will run through all the maps. The downside, of course, with the way that I do the objective code is that the objectives can't be seen on the screen. That's just the way that it is. And with the new objective code, by the way, that Ripple Effect have introduced, that disappears. That is now possible because the objectives are fixed. But setting that aside, this works the same way. Now, you're going to wonder to yourself, well, how do I know where the objectives are? And I'll be honest, it's quite a difficult problem to solve because there's no way of physically showing that. We could have put AI players in those objectives, but given the game mode, that would look a little bit ridiculous. It's going to look a bit daft with AI players floating in the air. So we've got rid of that. And basically, it's going to give you a small description. You'll see those descriptions at the start of the game, and also next to the name of each objective at the top right, and you're going to be able to see what the name of the objective is. It's going to give you a clue as to where that objective is on the map, and it's also going to tell you how far away you are from that objective to help you find it. So if the distance is going down, you're heading towards that objective. Now, I realize that this isn't ideal. It's quite an experimental mode. However, if you play with friends and you want to use this, you will very quickly get used to where the objectives are. You'll know where you're able to stand to be able to capture the objective. It's my hopes that small groups of players will play this game mode. They'll get used to where I've set the objectives, or indeed set their own if you're going through the logic editor and want to make those edits, and very quickly become used to where each objective is. I have to say, I've tried to set the objectives in positions that kind of make sense. They're nicely spaced out. Interesting objectives, I think, and interesting positions for them, but clearly you're going to have to find them yourself. I may well in the future put up some screenshots of the actual locations themselves. Don't know whether it's worth the effort, but if anybody's interested, I may well have a look at that and do that in the future. Anyway, looking at the screen, you can see us playing in this demonstration. I'm playing against the AI, and you can see little bars at the top right hand corner. Those bars are really the equivalent of the little icon at the top that shows you which side or which team has captured an objective. So if you have the objective, you'll see that the bar is on the friendly side, and it'll tell you you've captured it. And if the bar is on the other side, the enemy has captured it. And if it passes from one way to the other, it will turn to neutral as the opposing team catches it. I think it's a reasonably good visual representation of where each flag is, and it's quite easy to see where each flag is for your particular team. That's about it with Domination. I have to say that you can see the game mode running in the background. I am just playing against AI, but you can see it's working just the way you'd expect Domination to work, and hopefully someone somewhere has some fun with this. It does cover all the maps, so if you don't want to get into Logic Editor, in a moment you're going to be able to stop this video and don't need to go any further. I'm going to put up the experience code for you so you can enjoy Domination with your friends. You can run it through Portal. Just use the experience code. So just one final point before we finish this first part of the video. The mod itself is set to 16 players, so 8 per side, so it is quite a small game mode. That's just to keep the server load reasonable. I have tested it with 32 players and it does work with a couple of minor adjustments, but I felt that this kept the game mode tight. If you want me to make the adjustments, just let me know in the comments and I will release a further version. Obviously I'm just looking at the bug fix for the countdown in tickets, but I don't really want to wait for that to come before giving this mode to everyone. So if you're interested in having an overview of the code, watch out for part 2. That's coming very soon. I'm just putting the finishing touches to that, and I will run through the code in that video, give you a little bit of an oversight, and also let you know how you can customize it, change the capture points to be whatever you want, and a few other things. We'll look at the messages and have a little bit of a dig around in the code. Not a tutorial, just a kind of an overview. That will be coming soon. As always, if you've got something out of this, please do share it with anybody that might want to play Domination and find this interesting. Obviously, a click on the like button helps me with the YouTube algorithm, and if you haven't done already, please do click that subscribe button and continue to help me on my way to 1,000 subscribers. Right, that's it for this first part of the video. I will speak to you all again very, very soon once I've just finished putting the finishing touches to the second part. Take care everyone, and I will see you very soon. Ta-ra.